Hey, y'all, welcome to another episode of Kelvis Podcast. Hey, listen, I got another great interview with my man, Coach Don. Listen, he in the building. We did one great episode. We
Yes,
done did a
sir.
couple great episodes together.
Yes,
So it's
sir.
an opportunity to kind of talk about some different things from a different perspective. Um, as y'all know, I got a great book out. You know what I'm saying? It's the podcast Truth Behind the Stories behind the studios right
Yes,
there.
sir.
You know what I'm saying? And actually, Coach Don, you and many other my guests inspired this book. So
Oh, wow.
in some fashion form, y'all stories in this book.
Wow.
In some shape or form, especially when it comes to community.
Yes,
And I
sir.
know you're big in the community. We talked about it on the very first podcast, man.
Yes,
So
sir. I
I
appreciate
thank
that.
you, and I thank all the people that have came on the Kevin's podcast this year and last year and have inspired this book.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
definitely in this book, and thank y'all, man. So
Yeah.
man, we back in the studio, man. Y'all out here in the community like hotcakes, boy.
Yeah, man. We're
Y'all
trying
out
to
here
get
like
it done.
hotcakes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. I'm
yeah.
loving it.
You know,
I'm
hope the
loving it.
community.
Yes, sir. Hope
Yeah.
Our community, with our team market owner, Robert R.J. Edwards, we call him, but his name is Robert Edwards Jr. And our general manager, Tyrus Ray, and everybody else on the team, man.
Yeah.
We just out here trying to get it done.
Yeah. Y'all doing it, man.
Thank you, man.
Y'all doing a
Thank
great
you.
job, man. And so, when we were just having some conversation out there, and I'm just a piggyback off, man.
Mhm.
So, you started out when you met RJ, you said, and you corrected me, you was assistant coach
Mhm.
or the Fed was the Fed with Stingers,
Fair Stingers.
Stingers,
Yes, sir.
and then you said you had an opportunity to see their model of a little bit of their model, their business model.
Hmm.
So in your humble opinion and experience, what is the difference in the model that y'all currently under, and what did you learn from it
Yes.
as you as an individual
Yes.
versus now? What is those takes?
I think one of the biggest things now is honesty. Um, and I don't want to try to shoot, a dead horse with that, but
Yeah.
our general manager, I think, really had, his heart in the right place. I just think that, the people or the person above him just really did not. If he did, it didn't last long as far as his heart being in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is RJ's heart is right in the right place. He's a God first type of person,
Oh,
which
definitely.
I enjoy the most. And then he's relationship. Um, he's relationship building,
Mm-hmm.
type of
Yeah.
mentality. He wants to build relationships with everybody involved,
Right.
and that's the community, that's the staff members, and he's been an honest person since day one.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, man. So you know, when you read that slogan, hope and community,
Mhm.
and one thing that and we discussed it before, but just to kind of bring that back to full tuition, if you don't got to buy in the community,
Yeah,
you really don't have much
you don't have nothing.
because if the community ain't there to back you up,
That's right.
there's not much to say. So I think just looking at him and knowing you and just knowing Tyrus and
Yes, sir.
um, y'all combination there to build in the community. Y'all doing a great job. As a matter of fact,
Appreciate
what is
it.
the youth camp that's in
It's
July
July 15th. The,
15th?
the youth camp is July 15th. That's free. It's already full,
Yeah,
but it's July 15th. And then obviously before then, we have our second combine,
right, the
which is
12th.
July 12th.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I had the opportunity to be a sponsor in that, and then
Thank you.
I was glad to do that because I believe in what y'all doing, and that's the key. I mean, when you have people believe, one thing RJ has taught me from a business standpoint, and to be so young, I give him his flowers while he's living.
Hmm.
You got to be able to have people buy in.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you know that it's not that I didn't know it.
Right.
Sometimes as well. I know God sometimes got to bring things back to you a couple times for you to really
Absolutely.
learn. Especially man, we kind of
Absolutely.
hard headed. You know what I'm
We are.
saying?
We are.
So we, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
we run the brick wall a few times and we
Yeah.
figure out, hey man, this brick wall ain't going nowhere and it's hurt.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
That's right.
And so just having the opportunity from our business standpoint, our relationship, to say, hey, Kelvin, you got to have that buy-in. You got to have
Hmm.
people believe in what you're saying, your
Right.
business model.
Right.
Um, it brought that back, and I think that's what y'all done, man,
Yeah.
to a great extent, man. So yeah.
Yeah. I
So
appreciate it.
so what are some other things that you learned? What are some of the challenges now versus then to now? What are some of the challenges that because you've been in the room more
Mhm.
now, obviously you're more deeply involved in what RJ got going on the Favor Liberty versus the Favor Stingers. But what are some of the similarities and what are some of the difference and challenges that y'all are facing right now?
The similarity is, for the most part, as a coach, they both allow us to invest into our players the way we need to.
Hmm.
Um, I think what sets them apart is RJ is not a hustler. You know, he doesn't bring a city slicker type,
Right,
and I'm
right,
from the city, but he
yeah,
doesn't bring that city slicker mentality. He brings honesty
right,
again. So not to keep being repetitive in that word, but that's important to me,
right.
because I'm going to bring honesty. And then if he can be honest from the top and it trickle down, and I'm being honest to the
Hmm.
players, I think we can be successful in that regard.
Right,
But if we allow ourselves to try to hustle each other, to me, when you get into the hustle, you get into the lies.
right.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
definitely,
And you
definitely.
know the saying, if you tell one lie, you got to
That's
tell
another
another to
cover.
cover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
So
that's true.
I just think that, from the top, it's been authentic.
Hmm.
And then, with him being authentic and myself being authentic, it gives us an opportunity to have authenticity
Hmm.
to
Yeah,
the players
right. And
and
that's
in the
it's,
community as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Absolutely. Most
absolutely.
importantly.
Yeah. And I think that's very key. Again, that's very key, man. And
Mhm.
so as we was talking, we all I always love to have that outside of conversation before we
Yeah,
come in the podcast because it just makes a better podcast. And
absolutely.
so I think you told me that you had 12 players and 3 reserve
Hmm.
and then one more combine. This should be the final combine. Is that correct? Or y'all
No,
gonna
no,
have to
no. We
do
have one on the 12th, and then we have another one in December.
in December? Okay.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, or if I'm wrong, please forgive me. After the final combine is when we start our team camp. We
Okay.
start team camp, and then we're preparing to really finalize our roster.
Okay.
And then once we do that, it's go time.
Gotcha. I got you. Okay. So, but here's my thing, and I was talking to you about. I know you, and I was talking about Kurt Franklin,
Hmm.
and that really inspired me. Because for one, when I first started out this podcast, as I said before, I started this podcast um to benefit men or
Right.
give a man of all colors and race and creed the
Hmm.
opportunity to come on and talk about issues that affect us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I was in enhancing man life financially, spiritually,
Yeah.
and physically. And
Yeah.
we talk about the men because we both talking about the physical part
Absolutely.
at our age
Absolutely.
now. But
Yes, sir.
so you know, in saying that, Kurt Franklin, he had his brothers come out, Country Wayne, he
Mm.
had DL, what is it, DC, who's a
DC on the
comedian,
fly.
yeah, and a bunch of other guys. I mean, pretty much it's got over millions of views. So most people know all the people that was a part of that
Hmm.
set down thing. One of the greatest myths that's out there that I think affects our community
Hmm.
is black fathers not involved in their lives. And from your standpoint, from a coach, a man of your stature that I have great respect for,
Thank you.
what is your outlook on that, and what is your outlook as to mentor? Because I was saying to you, if you got 12 guys on the team, probably 9, maybe 10 of them are fathers.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so, what 2 parts to this question? What is your outlook on that perspective that black
Hmm.
fathers not involved in their lives,
Hmm.
and how would you mentor young fathers that's on your team?
I grew up, my dad was in the house. And to this day, he's my best friend.
Mhm.
I could call on him, and that's the blessing that I have in my life.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
just because a person doesn't have a father in their life doesn't mean that they're not blessed. I have a very close friend. I call him a brother. I don't want to say his name, but he was raised by his mom, and we all feared her. We feared her coming up. She didn't play,
Right.
but she was loving, but she was stern.
Stern. Gotcha.
Um, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about men, and yet alone black men. And one of the misconceptions is there's a lot of families without black men involved. And it is to an extent, but does that mean that a person cannot be successful in that dynamic? I refuse to believe that.
Mhm.
I also refuse to believe that because of where you from, you're a product of your environment.
Right. Yeah. We
I
talked about
refuse to believe that because I just think you're a product of your choices,
right.
not of your environment.
That's true, and I like that. I
Right.
love that you said that out there,
Yes,
and you
sir.
said it here on the Kelvis podcast.
Yes, sir.
That's powerful.
I appreciate it. Well, the reason why I say that is because there's millionaires that came from those same
True. Yeah.
environments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's not only millionaires, but there's successful black men
Hmm.
who have come, and women who've come from those environments and have stand the test of time
Right.
and have been successful. They're lawyers, they're doctors, they're athletic directors, they're coaches. They come from these environments. So that's a misconception.
That's
And
yeah.
as far as black men not being in the homes, it's not just black men not being in homes. It's all different type of races of men not being in homes.
Mhm.
So what I tell my guys is always make sure you take care of home first.
Yeah,
Your ministry, no matter what it is, it starts at home.
that's true.
And as a man, if you have daughters, I really feel like, and it's just my opinion, if you have daughters, you are your daughter's first boyfriend.
Yes. First love.
First love.
Yeah. And
First
I agree
love.
with you. I don't got girls, but I
Absolutely.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
100.
So when you teach them how to love
Mhm.
and you teach them how to be loved, it
Right.
sets the standard for them when they go out
Oh,
here
yeah.
and meet
Oh, yeah.
whoever they
Yeah.
they may
Yeah.
come across. As far as men, it teaches them how to stand firm. It teaches them how to be a leader.
Mhm.
Somebody who's not going to tolerate disrespect of their family, of them, whatever, and being a provider. I learned that from my dad. My dad was officer. I seen my dad go into the military, and I think I spoke of this before. He was whatever you call it when you first go in. I don't even think he had a rank.
Private.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I seen him go from that after leaving Washington D.C.
Mm.
and going and retiring as a major in the
Wow.
military. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Speaks a
So
lot.
he showed me how to work hard through adversity, how to overcome adversity, how to be a leader, how to speak with integrity, and how to be articulate.
Mhm.
Some may say, "Oh, you trying to sound white," whatever. I'm not trying to throw race at it, but some do.
Right. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't speak in any box that you want to put me in.
Right.
I was taught to be articulate. I was taught to be educated. That's how we were raised up. However you were raised, that's how you were raised, and I choose to respect who you are when you choose to be respectful. So
Wow. And I think that I had forgot that your father was in the military. And I'm gonna go back to that point that you made about RJ and the honesty and the they're being
authenticity,
artistic. Um
authentic.
authentic, yes. Because he was military
Yes,
and
sir.
you don't have to be in the military to be around that environment and it influenced, it shaped you
Yes.
to who you are now. And
Mhm.
that's why I think that y'all can relate. Y'all
Yes.
relationship is so tight because
Yeah.
you understood what your father
Mhm.
put into you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what that one strong amongst other that y'all have.
Yes.
Yeah. And so to go back to that point, if and I looked the statistics up. Kurt Franklin, I think it was I don't remember which, with the guy that plays on one of Tyler Perry's show. I can't think of his name right now,
Mhm.
but he's black man's statistically is the one race that's more active in our children lives than any other race. And I actually went back and
Yeah.
looked that statistics up, and he was correct. I just wanted because I didn't want to just say it off of what he said, and I believed
Absolutely.
him, but I wanted to know for myself because when I speak on that, I want to make sure that I did my own research
Right.
on that.
Well,
Um,
that's because you stand for something.
yeah,
And the old saying is, if you don't stand for something, you'll
you
fall
fall
for
for
anything.
anything. Yeah,
So any type of misconception that people shoot out,
right.
if you don't understand what you're about, if you don't stand for something, then you'll believe everything everybody
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
So it's good that you did the research on that
right.
because we came up in an era where it takes a village.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
true.
you could be walking home after getting in trouble in the park, and about 3 or 4 parents and
Boy,
popped you upside your head before you got home.
you about to make preach. Boy, you better start preaching to me. But
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
it's different now
Yeah.
where I really, when I say this, I mean this in the most respectful way. Parents are not the same. They're not the same.
Mhm.
What they tolerate today, our parents didn't
Oh
tolerate
no, sir.
back then. And then there's also in their defense, kids have so much access to things that we didn't have access to.
That's true.
And that's whether it's social media, any type of electronic. I think our biggest electronic as kids coming
What
up was
story?
Atari.
Well, you better talk about it. And look, man, I was the most popular person in my community because my
Because you
mama
had all the
bought me one.
games.
Yeah, I had it hooked up to the TV, run
Yes,
your little
sir.
cord back there.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man, everybody, all the kids in the
Yeah.
neighborhood want to come to the house because I was the
See?
first one in the community that had one. I
See?
never get my mama bought that for me Christmas. Man, I was a big dog on the block, man,
I
behind
got
that.
one. I got one. I got it a real Atari at the house.
No, you don't, do you?
Yes, I
I'm about to
do.
come out and play it
Come
with you now.
on,
Yeah,
come on. I got plenty of games, but
Okay.
that was our thing
Yeah.
coming up. But
Yeah.
now these kids, they're raising themselves. They're raising themselves based off what they see,
Right.
what's popular. I raised my kids not really getting into secular music and stuff like that because that can hit the spirit. And that's what I try to
True.
avoid my kids getting into because I didn't want them being entertainers,
Mm.
raising my children. I refuse to let that happen.
Right. So just say for hypothetical speaking, so one of your players, he has, let's just say a Country Wayne situation going on
Hmm.
where he has maybe 2 to 3 baby mamas and he has, maybe 1 or 2 kids, and he came to you for advice how to, be able to manage that, to be able to, navigate through that whole process of having, kids by various women. What would be
Mm.
3 top advice that you would give
Uh, if that's the choice that you so choose, I would suggest that you wear a raincoat in the rain. That would help.
him?
That would
Okay,
help
yeah,
if you get what I'm saying.
yeah,
You know, raise your children. You don't raise your children, somebody else will.
that's true.
So if your standards are your standards, then you live by your standards and you teach your standards to your children.
Hmm.
If not, you allow somebody else to teach their standards to your child, and it may not be the same as your standards. So you can't get mad if somebody else is raising your child because you refuse to.
Hmm.
So if you have multiple women, you're gonna have to deal with the women feeling the way they feel,
Right.
but always try to put your children first over the relationship. I get it. You don't have to love the woman, or women don't have to love the male to love their children.
That's true.
These children didn't ask to be here. So I myself, I take that serious. And as people ask me about coaching, like what is my greatest thing that I love about coaching?
Hey, Pastor Chris here. Listen, I'm excited to officially announce, man, I have the privilege of being the team pastor for Fayetteville Liberty basketball. Listen, one thing I'm excited about in this partnership with Mark Church and Fayetteville Liberty is that we get to stand with these athletes. I'm excited to stand with them, not only as just men, but incredible leaders who are going to release hope in this community. I'm excited to stand apart and be a part of this association and organization. Listen, we're excited to bring hope to the entire city of Fayetteville. Fayetteville Liberty basketball, Mark Church, let's go.
I love the impact.
Mhm.
I love making an impact.
Yeah,
If
I
I can
know.
make an impact and I can help change the mindset of a child or
Right.
mindset of a young male or woman,
Right.
I'm all for it because I know what God put
That's
me
your
here for.
that's your purpose.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so now that we kind of talked about it out there, you have a assistant coach as official, and then you have a consultant.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that dynamic.
Well, the assistant coach is Chuck McCray, Charles McCray. We call him Chuck. Chuck is a very knowledgeable individual. Plus, he knows a lot of the young men out here. They coach in those leagues, the semi pro leagues, ECBL, and I guess they call it the Bunch Row League and stuff like
Or the
that.
Bunch Row, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
got a
he
friend that's from Bunch Row.
okay. Yeah.
Road,
So
yeah.
they're playing in those leagues. So he has a lot of relationships with those guys. And we've sat down and talked X's and O's. And again, his mentality is like mine. It's about the impact. And then we have another individual, George Stackhouse. He's the consultant, but um, he's a Hall of Famer. He has just as many, if not more, accolades than I have, but he also has a lot of relationships as well. So I think between the three of us, man, I just think the impact is going to be great.
Mhm.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the video clips and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Stackhouse and the assistant coach, y'all call him Chuck. Is that correct?
Call them. This is the first time. I mean, granted, I've had some assistant coaches, and they had their role. One of the best coaches I had was she's actually my cousin, Nikisha Gaddy, when I was coaching the girls.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah, I
I have
remember.
Charles Tubbs and a few others that I've had under my programs. But as far as knowledge and what they bring to the table, as far as X's and O's and stuff like that, they challenge me, and that's what I like, especially at this level.
Yeah,
I can't walk in there and feel like I know everything, and which I never do.
right,
But in this situation, I can go to one of those coaches and say, hey, we need to work on this. Got it, coach. And it's a done deal.
right.
I don't have to worry about always running the practice. My coaches allow me to observe because they know what I want, and they allow me to observe while they do the work. I've never had that luxury.
Wow, that is incredible. Well, it also, I think it also, and correct me if I'm wrong, it also gives you a chance to really, um, have a deeper relationship with your players,
Yeah,
because now you can observe and you can see
that's right.
when at this practice they were doing, there was, or you can see the, either increase or decline. And then if you see a decline in them,
Mhm.
in practice, you can say, hey,
That's right.
what's going on, versus you're more involved in the plays and stuff like
Mhm.
that. You might not always see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's great, man. And wow. So how did y'all all come together? I know, and I asked you about Tyrus.
Mhm.
You say you know him now about 3-4 years, I believe.
Mhm.
He's a GM.
Mhm.
So how did all y'all come together?
Well, Tyrus was he brought Chuck to me, and I actually went to Stackhouse and asked him was he interested in being involved. Um, I tried to pick my staff or our staff by knowing exactly what I want my assistant coaches to be.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I was the assistant coach like I was with the Stingers, that was my first year ever being an assistant coach. So my mentality was I want to be the type of assistant coach I want
Right.
my coaches to
And
be.
that's commendable, because you don't, I don't mean to cut you off, but you
No, you're
don't
fine.
find that, there's a saying in the military: in order to lead, you must be able to follow.
That's right.
And that's anything in life. You have to
Yeah.
be able to humble yourself
Hmm.
and be able to follow, hopefully, good leadership. And you can have some bad leadership, but
Of
I think
course.
you even in bad leadership, there's an opportunity to learn. There's a lesson
Yes.
there.
Oh yeah.
So when you do get
Yeah.
in that position, when God move you in that position,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, you know what
How to
not to
handle
do.
it. Yeah.
And you took that
Absolutely.
lesson that God gave you in the position here. So
Absolutely.
so when you said that, that's commendable, because a lot of people, everybody want to be the chief.
Yeah.
Nobody want to be the Indian,
Yeah.
as we so famously say.
You
You
know
know what
it.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So by you saying that really touches me, that you said, I want to be kind of assistant coach that I would want to be. I'm not, or vice
Under
versa.
me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
so yeah, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
To hear
Well,
you say.
we have a to go back to what you were saying about being able to observe practices because you have a staff that can handle it. Um, people are emotional. We're emotional beings.
That's true.
And like you said, some of these young men have children. They have responsibilities, and when I was coming up, our coach used to always say, leave your woes out there. You come back in here, this is your place of freedom. If you decide to pick it back up when you go back out there, that's up to you. But leave all your troubles out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to instill that the same way. But I also learned from another way that my coach handled it, with not telling me my worth. So in the midst of handling those things, you always got to let these guys know their worth.
Right.
It's not just basketball. Again, it's about the impact, whatever that might be.
Mm-hmm.
That it falls under a huge umbrella.
Right. That's
That
true.
impact is very important, and that's what I strive on.
Yeah. And RJ, I've heard him say it, and I think I can speak on this and use what he say here.
Excuse me.
That the basketball team is just a tool.
It's a tool for the ministry.
Yeah.
Man, and it's funny you say that.
Yeah.
He and I were talking, and I always say, man, I don't care about the business side of basketball. Not that it's not important. I don't want to be involved because of the impact. My impact is personal. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you have to make those business decisions that make it difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you may have that relationship with that guy, but now a business decision has to be made.
Right.
I don't want to get involved in that if I don't have to. Understand there's ways that I can I don't want to say punish, but I can chastise you without without it being business-like. It could be
Right.
personal
Right.
because we have that type of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I was telling him, I said, man, I don't want to get into the business side of basketball. I just want to coach basketball because of what it does for me spiritually and what I'm able to help people do.
Right.
And he told me, I didn't know this, and I looked it up. I had to look it up and read it. I didn't know that the guy who started basketball for a ministry.
I didn't know that either.
James Naismith. He started
Wow.
basketball
That is
to
crazy.
to start a ministry. And I said, wow, that's to me when I heard that, I said, that's nobody but God. Because I
Yeah.
feel that way. I
Yeah.
feel that way wholeheartedly.
Oh, I know you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to know that the person who started this thing was doing it for that same reason, I was like, okay, God,
Yeah.
I hear you.
And you know what's the crazy thing about it, 'cause Don, and I tell people all the time, if I did a podcast with a very known pastor here.
Mhm.
Came on, he knew RJ, so that was a connection on a podcast.
Mhm.
And we hit the mental health kind of side of the
Mhm.
house. But my point of it, if you got to tell people that you're a Christian,
With that
Oh,
part.
you love God.
That part.
Now, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I got it.
I get
You
it.
know, we can both say you. I'd say, you know, when I first met you, I knew you love God, knew you,
Mhm.
you know, but your action.
Yes, sir.
And so you didn't even have to say that to me because everything about you speaks that. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
It really do. And that's why I have so much love and respect and admiration for you on this team because your actions speak. You didn't have to tell me that. I
Yes,
already
sir.
knew that from the first time I met you.
Thank you.
But again, I am not knocking people. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, people go around saying they love the Lord and He had a and
Yeah.
hey, that's all good. I got it. But if you got to tell everybody that you meet that, I'm just saying
Because you're trying to
that's just
convince.
Kelvis now.
No,
You know
you're
what I'm
trying to
saying?
convince.
Yeah,
But a
yeah.
song, as a songwriter said, his name is Canton Jones. He had a song called "God Looks Good on You." That speaks volumes right there.
Yeah.
And that means I can see God on you, and you wear him well.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that means the way you carry yourself, the way you handle things, the way you respond to things.
Mhm.
It looks good on you. You can
Mhm.
tell God is in your heart,
Right.
not in your mind. I don't have to convince you. Like you said, I don't feel like I have. A wise man once said to me one time, he said, "Man, my belief is not that fragile. I got to run around protecting it all day.
Mm.
I trust what I
Powerful.
trust. I believe what I believe. My
Right.
faith is my faith."
Mhm.
So if I got to keep telling you, "Oh, I love God. I trust God. I love him. I love him. I love," I'm trying to convince you.
Right. Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to convince you that I love God. I'm trying to convince you that there's a God that can do the same thing
Right.
for you that he
He
did
done
for
for
me,
me. Right.
just by my actions.
That's it.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it. And you know what's funny? You know, again, I love the conversation prior to. So me and RJ we were sitting down just, chit chatting up. We hadn't had an opportunity to just see face to face, and we both busy. I work, he work,
Mhm.
and he said something. I'm not gonna go into that, but I said in my mind, I was already thinking. I said, man, I said, you know, you got the team. You're doing all these great things. You know, you can walk into a room and you just know how to carry yourself,
Mhm.
and you speak. You know,
There you go.
very, very well put
Articulate.
articulated. And I said, I was thinking in my mind. So when he said to me, he said people said to him, and I guess I can throw that little part in there. He said, people asking me if I'm going, why I'm not going to pastor the church, or am I looking to get in, pastor the church? And I said, RJ, I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
And what he said to me was, this is a ministry.
There you go. That's it.
It's just that simple. I'm not
That's
gonna go
it.
into what all we
Yeah,
said,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
as close friends we are, but and I had to sit back and I had to think about that. We sometimes, I think one of the biggest, and this is just my personal belief, Coach John.
Mhm.
You know, grew up small town. It's 4 churches in our community,
Mhm.
and we rotate. Like, we'd only have church at our church. We don't do first and second.
Yeah.
Somebody do second, third, second,
Yes.
fourth, kind of like type thing. So you can share in church within the community.
Mhm.
But I think sometimes we get caught up in the 4 walls, as I can use this room, of
Yeah.
ministry. But it's outside. That's where you
Absolutely.
that's where
The
you go out and
impact.
make your greatest impact.
That's right.
So sometimes, we put ourselves in a box
Mhm.
because we want to conform to the structure or the principle or the document that's been taught to us so long,
The tradition and the
traditional
perception.
thing.
Yeah, I
But
got you.
these young kids, just like you so well said, now, I got cousins that's got kids, man, that's 2, 3 years old that can work a cell phone better than me. They
Yeah.
know how to go on YouTube, they know how to go
Yeah.
find. And so what I'm saying is you got to go out now and be able to reach these people, at these young millennials,
Mhm.
at where they at,
That's
and
right.
bring them to
There you go,
Christ.
right there.
You know what I'm saying? So when he said that, we were just having a conversation. I said, man, that what you said was so impactful because, you know, you can't you got to be able to think outside the box.
You have to.
You don't have to be conformed to just saying, hey, I'm a pastor to church, because your action and what you're doing,
People should
and,
see it.
and when you're getting your guidance from God, when God is giving you your marching orders,
Yeah.
that is a church.
That's right.
Church is within us anyway.
That's right.
The church is just a place that we meet together in a structural building.
Mhm.
That's why I was always told. My
Right.
mom's an elder. She's been preaching for 30
Yeah.
some years.
Yeah.
But so what y'all are doing is God's work, because
That's
y'all
right.
are out there making huge impact on people. And sometimes we don't know the impact that we make on people by just the simple words
That's
that
right.
we say. I say tool for your tool bag, because we don't have some great podcasts.
Oh yeah.
And man, I had to
Oh,
put some on tools in my tool bag, because hey man, it's a different way or different
Yes.
perspective to look at things. So Um, so yeah, so that, I mean, wow, that is man, that is incredible, man. I'm just so excited just to be associated with the team.
Man,
You
we're
know what I'm
glad to
saying?
have you,
Because
man.
it's
You're awesome, bro.
it's the impact is incredible, man. The
Yeah,
ministry within this
yeah.
basketball team, and like I said, when you got somebody, when you got a team of a leadership, then that's what y'all are.
Mhm.
You think about it, it is a church.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? You
It
got your
is.
you got your head coach, you got your assistant
Mhm.
coach, you got a consultant, you got your GM, you got and the players is your congregation, and the people
Mhm.
that you run into is your congregation.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
in a sense, you got a church
Yeah.
in a new structure of a church nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
I,
So
I didn't I didn't grow up in the church, so I guess I had the opportunity to be able to see things from a different
perspective,
perspective.
right?
You know, don't get me wrong. My dad used to always say, "There's a higher being."
Hmm.
Um, do I feel like I was cheated? No. That was what I was taught at home. My path became my path when I became an adult, and God led me down that path. So the way my dad taught me was the way that he taught me. That was his household.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now I have a wife, I have my boys, I have 3 boys, Jalen, Jalil, and Demetrius, and we raised 2 daughters, Willetta, and Abby.
Hmm.
We always try to be examples. You know what I mean? When I became a member of Charity Church, the church that Christ built,
Okay.
I told Apostle Burgess Pearson and his beautiful wife, Brenda Pearson, my ministry is not within the 4 walls of the church. And he totally understood because he knew what I was doing. If he felt like I couldn't handle what I was doing out there, then he probably would have pulled me in and said, "Son, you might need to start in here and then."
Right.
But he know I'm receptive to whatever he's teaching. If I don't pay attention to anything else, I pay attention to the word when he's
Right.
teaching it.
Yeah.
And our leaders, our lead pastor Nally MacArthur. So I just really feel like I was able to walk into a situation and grow. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody had to force me into it. Excuse me. My reasoning to becoming a Christian was I was a Muslim for 7 years.
I know that. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm not going to try to preach here, but I had a situation where mentally I was having a breakdown, right, as a Muslim. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe.
Hmm.
I follow Christ. And a, I had to eventually establish or have a relationship with him. I had to have a situation that happened for me to really see Jesus for what he is. And it was just me. It was a situation that happened to me or was getting ready to happen to me.
Hmm.
And I sobered up mentally off of the thought that I was getting ready to do. So after going through that, I had to think about how can I be serving a God that would allow me to think like this, right? So as time goes on, I don't want to say the thought, but
Okay, I respect that. Yeah,
as
got it.
time goes on, I started, going with my wife to church. And when I'm going to church, now mind you, I am a Sunni Muslim at this time. I am a devout Muslim. I did my prayers. I had took my shahada to convert to Islam, um, and I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. And as time goes on, again, I started following my wife to church. I'm listening to the word, and instead of being, I guess, kind of turning away or shunning what they're saying or being combative. That's the
Gotcha. Yeah.
word I'm looking
Yeah.
for. Instead of being combative to what I was listening to in the church, I was interested. I was interested. So then Sunday happens, then I go to Bible study on Wednesday.
Hmm.
And now I'm like this.
Questions.
I'm asking questions, bro.
Yeah.
I'm raising my hand, trying to get the answers. And again, I didn't have a hardened heart.
That's key.
You know what I mean? I had an open heart. I had an open heart to the word. So fast forward, go back another Sunday. Same thing happens, go back that Wednesday. And then the following Sunday, I go back, man, God lifted me up and walked me right to that altar.
Mm.
Walked me right there. And I even spoke to my dad, because my dad's a Muslim. I told him, I said, look, man, this is not me. this is not me. And he looked at me, he said, son, this don't change our relationship. You
Hmm.
didn't become a Muslim because of me, and I didn't become a Muslim because of you. He said, it doesn't change our relationship.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So when I got saved, that was my relationship and my personal relationship that I had that I had to establish with God. That led me. He led me. I can't say, excuse me, I can't say that I chose God. I really think God chose me.
Yeah.
I really do. I really believe that. And he doesn't need me. But
I'm invested in what it is you guys are doing here. I know some of y'all. Because I know you don't mean nothing. Everybody got a fair shot, everybody got fair opportunity. I will tell you, one individual will be selected today. Somebody's gonna be told in front of the kids today who's gonna be selected for camp.
he chose me. And so I take it serious.
Yeah.
So when it comes to me raising my family, when it comes to me making an impact out in this community, I just truly feel like he gave me basketball for a tool for the
Right.
ministry.
For the ministry. You're walking in your divine purpose.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's, man, I never knew that to the day.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, you was invested.
Yes, sir.
You was invested in what, and as you said, man, to whatever religion you serve, whatever,
Mhm.
capacity that's what you are, that's what you do. And we don't, we definitely don't know anybody for their religious choice
No.
at all. But that was nothing but God,
Yes, sir.
and a powerful thing you said there, your father said, I didn't make you a Muslim, you didn't make me a
That's
Muslim,
right.
and it's not going to change our relationship. And I think sometimes when one of the biggest problems I think in our country and culture is we can have different opinion on religion,
That's right.
politics, um, on numerous things.
Mhm.
But first, we are human. Humanity,
That's right.
humanity.
That's right.
That's what we got to have. And the funny thing about it, Coach Don, I did a live, and I was talking about, I got a best friend that's like a brother to me. He's Republican.
Yeah.
He loved Donald Trump.
It's his choice.
That's his choice.
Yeah.
But if he called me right now and said something, he's got two boys. One that has some medical issues.
Mhm.
Uh, any one of them boys grew up with him. I don't sit in the hospital with him.
Mhm.
My son died. He was there for me. And
Yes, sir.
situation happened with my mom, and he went to gun camp and we loaded the car with ammo and guns, and
Mhm.
we rolled.
There you go.
Yeah. And so I would do the same for him
Mhm.
on the strength that we have served together and known each other. I was there when I went on the first date with him and his wife he's got now.
Wow.
He was scared to go on a date with a girl. Yeah.
My cousin was like that. God rest his soul. Yeah.
And so I say all that is, regardless of his political views,
Mhm.
doesn't stop the love that I has for him. It doesn't stop the
Absolutely.
love he has for me. And so if we as people, I think this country would do a whole 380 or 360
Mhm.
if we would just remember that we bleed the same blood. Because
Yeah.
if we had every race in this room right now, and I took a knife and cut each person all the way around the circle, we all when that blood hit the air, it's gonna be red.
Mhm.
And that's what the military taught. We, no matter what the religion or culture or
Mhm.
ethnic group is, we the enemy is shooting at us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if
Yeah.
I get hit, you get hit, we're gonna bleed the same.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
right.
right now we got a common interest. We're
That's
trying
right.
to stay alive,
That's right.
regardless of your religion
Mhm.
or political preference.
That's right.
And so that right there is a major key, man.
Yeah.
I think that, and I'm glad you shared it on Kelvis Podcast, man, because I
Yes.
never knew that. And so we were laughing out there on a lighter note, on a funny note, and I'll be 52, and you gonna turn 50
Yeah.
soon, right?
April of next year. I'll be
April next,
50.
and we were talking about you working out. I think you said again when
Yeah,
you leave here,
yeah,
you're gonna work out. And
yeah.
hey, when you get over 50, man, when you get close to 50 and over 50, man, that workout, that hey
Hit
man,
different.
hey,
Hit different. Yes, sir.
that
Yes,
hey
sir.
man, and oh man, I as I said, I started Kelvis Podcast for men to physical, spiritually, and and financial enhancements. But that physical part, hey man,
It's different.
hey, whew, boy,
And I'm a coach that like to show.
yeah,
So I, I got to be in some type of shape
yeah,
to be able to go out here and show you what I want. Hey, whether it's high school, and I just retired from high school, to a pro, I
yeah,
got to go out here and show you,
yeah,
hey, this is how I want you to come off of this screen, or this is how I want you to defend the screen.
right,
And I'm out there showing these things.
yeah.
I don't want to fall out.
Yeah, you got it. With your inhaler, I got one too.
Yeah,
You need
see?
one.
See?
Hold on, let me get these.
I don't want none of that. I don't have no asthma problems. I don't want nobody putting no mask on my face telling me to breathe.
Oh
No,
man,
no,
yeah,
no,
hey,
no, no.
man, it's
I'm trying.
yeah, hey man, and you gotta boss it. They just ran 6 miles and did this incredible workout that he gave us a semi
Hey,
briefing
I'm
on.
not there
Hey,
yet.
me neither, man. I said, man, I'm past them years, man.
Yeah.
Listen here, man. I done been there and done that.
Yeah,
You
he's
know what
still
I'm saying?
young
Yeah, he's still young. As they say, he's still young and
and fit.
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use that word. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because yeah, that ain't that 6 miles and all. What you talking about? Hey, ain't. Boy, I do that. Boy, they might well go hook this.
Yeah, they might
Put
well
me in the
gonna call
ICU.
911.
Yeah, they
I'm
might well
falling
gonna
out.
take me to critical care.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna need about 6 to 8 weeks to
Yes,
recover,
sir.
if not longer,
If
man.
not longer.
Yeah, man.
Nah, I don't want no parts of that.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's still getting out, walking, man, being active
Yeah.
as possible. Whatever age you are, that's the key in eating healthy, man, as possible. I like to eat. I'm from the country, but I love me a good smothered pork chop and rice and gravy, some collard greens.
I can do rice, grains, and collard greens, but I can't do no pork.
I got you, but
I'm allergic to it. So.
okay, I got you. I ain't allergic to it just
Yeah.
yet. I try to cut, but I try to minimize. It's all about if you indulge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you eat in moderation and
Oh,
exercise,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you, boy, when you get over on the 50 side, man, you come that half a century, brother. Let me tell you something.
I'm stepping over that line. I'm right
Boy,
there.
let me tell you something. When you sit up in the party, boy, you got to call on the Lord. I've been so there, that best of Jesus. Lord, please help me one more day on this
Give
journey,
me
Lord.
strength, Lord.
Lord,
Give me strength.
yeah, to make it one more day,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes,
Man,
sir.
but hey, man, listen, I always enjoy coming, man,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
having you come to the podcast, man, and
Thank you for
just
having me.
blessing with it. You always have a wealth of wisdom that even I, love to hear, and I be putting
God, get
it
it
in my
glory.
tool bag, man. I be putting it in my tool bag.
I'll
Yes,
ditto,
sir.
man. I'll
Yeah,
take what you get. Yes,
yeah, man.
absolutely.
So thank you
Tag
again.
team.
Thank you again. I got a book for you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank
Share it
you.
on your face page, man.
Okay.
You can definitely get Kelvis Podcast. Get my new book
Okay.
on Amazon. You can get it from me. Again, this is it right here, y'all. I'm just gonna show it in the camera. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hold up. You know what I'm saying? The podcast truth, the stirs behind the studio.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
and you know what? And the funny thing is, right? And this is why I say this is key.
Mhm.
You know, and I say here, I found a collection of power sturdy from our guests,
Mhm.
the value lesson that we learned, and personal reflection that have helped shape the podcast and what it is today.
Yes, sir.
So again, y'all stories inspired me to write this book because there've been so many impactful stories. And then it goes
Absolutely.
on to talk about the community. And the first chapter is, you know, gone. That's Genesis.
Yeah.
That's where
That's
that's
right.
what all began, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
And that's the
sir.
first chapter. But yeah, y'all can get the book from me, or y'all can go on Amazon and get it. You know what I'm saying? It's a great book. Talks a lot about community, which hey man, that's what y'all doing, man, out in the community.
I wanted to highlight Mayor Colvin. He recognized me and did a proclamation for me.
I've seen
So
that, and I come.
yeah,
Yeah, congratulations on that.
and I'm not saying it to brag. Please understand that. I'm gonna let you know that you talking to somebody who didn't finish playing high school ball, who was told he wasn't gonna amount to anything,
Hmm.
who had his hiccups in life and was able to turn it around. And coaching in private schools, you don't really get highly recognized in the county. But for the mayor to recognize me and my accolades, because I retired from high school, um, he named I think it's March 2nd as Don Gardner Day in Fayetteville. So
Wow.
And when I tell you that when that was given to me, man, I cried like a baby.
Hey man, you
I
got to give
cried
you a
like a
flower
baby.
while you're living, man.
Yes, sir.
Give you all, and you deserve it, man.
I
You
appreciate it.
you will put in the work, you put in
Yes,
the
sir.
dedication, and again, I'm telling you, and I don't say this lightly, and I don't say this to many people, but I seen God in you when you first time I met you, man. There wasn't no doubt that you didn't play about your love for God and what your purpose was
That's right.
from the very first time I met you, and it's to this day, to this point, to right now. I truly believe that, and I see that in you, man.
Yes,
So, when you serve a mighty God like we serve,
Yes,
man,
sir.
and you just stay faithful.
Yes, sir.
And last Sunday I was at church. I think it came from, I want to say, I think it was Psalm. I can't remember. I think it's Psalm 4, chapter 41st, verse 1-4. But don't hold me to it. It says just hold on.
Hold on.
Just hold on.
Hold on.
All the things that you've been working for, you've been praying for, and you've been putting that work in, God got a blessing around the corner for you.
I receive it.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't grow weary of well doing.
That's
because
that's
in due
it.
season you'll reap if you faint not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And my brother RJ, and I never heard. I've heard it, but again, when God will put people in your life to bring things back to you, I think it's Luke 1-4. The little bit I have means so much.
That's right.
And I'm thankful.
Yes, sir.
I'm so thankful.
So thankful.
Yeah.
So thankful.
But again, Coach Don, man, I appreciate you, brother. I
I
always
appreciate you,
Hey, man, I know having a great season next year,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I'm gonna be in the house as much as possible, and I'm gonna be rooting you on. And yes, sir. Fayetteville Liberty, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Hope and community, right there.
That's right.
And Kelvis Podcast motto is "Let's build together." So when you put
build
hope
together.
and community and let's build together, you got a force, a foundation
That's it.
that's unshakable.
You build it together, you love it together.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you,
Yes,
brother.
sir. Thank you for coming on Kelvis Podcast. Watch, follow, subscribe Kelvis Podcast on all social media platforms. And with that, we out.
I really want you guys to understand why you're here. I'd be wrong to make y'all believe that it's only about basketball. If that's the case, you wouldn't have Hope.community on the bottom of your shirt. A life without people that believe in you is unknowingly walking in brokenness. Community, you gotta have people that build you up. Divine relationships, they don't fall out of the air. They are in people. They are discerned and they're not decided. This has been something we've been working on for 2 years. I didn't just wake up one day and just say, oh, I'm about to buy a team. It's a flex. No. And there's a couple of people in this room that can validate that the chance I got to even see that this was possible was in a space when I had nothing. Hope started then because I was around people. I was around Coach Don, and we were both sharing similar stories, and we encouraged each other. Fayetteville Liberty is bigger than just being called to Liberty. 7 core values that come with that: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. You don't got those things, I don't care how athletic you are, you're not gonna make the roster. When you leave that court, when you go home and you're a husband, when you go home and you're a father, outside of what we're doing here, it's bigger than basketball. Community. Let's bring it in real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go, baby.